What's poppin',
Oh
the
boy.
good people of
Brand new whip just hopped
YouTube?
in.
Say again?
I said I got a brand new whip. I just hopped in.
Oh, okay.
I got
Feeling
options.
yourself this morning, are you?
I mean, not really, but we're here.
Yeah, I was like, surprised to see a New York Giant fan feel so good after that loss. Any words you want to say to any Giants fans out there? Because that was hard to watch.
It definitely was hard to watch. I mean, as a Giants fan, I mean, I put on my Twitter. It was embarrassing. It was sad. It wasn't something that I wanted to see. I hope for a lot more coming into week one. But you know, in a long summary, a long 2 sentence, this one game doesn't define our season. It definitely can. We need to see what we're gonna do coming into week two.
Yeah.
And then our real test is going into week 3 against the 49ers, because right now Arizona is considered the bottom of the league. But if we can come back and win in Arizona, no matter what that looks like, and then at least challenge the 49ers more than we clearly did against the Cowboys, then I think we will be okay. But if you're a Giants fan out there, don't think that this defines your season. I'll have to say the same thing maybe for the Cowboys fans, right?
Yeah.
You had a good game. Doesn't mean that you're great. Same shit with the Bengals. Bengals
Right.
only scored 3 points, right? Are the Bengals panicking?
I hear
Joe
you.
Burrow, not, So, anyways, I can go on for so long, but just to keep it short.
Yeah. You have to beat the Cardinals, otherwise it is fully like
Yeah, it's full panic.
season.
It's full panic season, 100%. So, we'll wait and see what that looks like next week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what's up, Rob? Welcome in. He says, I'll be a first timer on your live. That's awesome. Welcome in.
Oh, that's
Welcome
awesome,
in.
man.
Nicholas, thank you for joining our YouTube membership. Appreciate
so
you,
much,
man.
man.
Thanks for becoming
That's
a member,
awesome.
supporting the channel, supporting what we do. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, you guys know how this goes. Drop any questions that you have. We'll be live before the game, and when the game starts, we will log off and watch the game offline. But any questions that you guys have for week 2 or just in general or whatever, go ahead and drop them in the chat now. Drop a like as well, and if you want anything answered straight away, super chat's always an option. But what's up, Just Flow? He says, yo, what up? Bench Pitts London for Dotson. Drop Swift and Kirk. Try for Hunter Henry, Zay Jones, Puka. Okay, here's what I'll say. That's a very big question. First thing is Drake, Kyle Pitts in particular, I feel like you can still play because the tight end position is so up and down already that if he gave you 6 points in what will likely be like the floor, right? Because we don't anticipate him to throw the ball less than 18 times, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so like that is probably the floor. Tight ends are already impossible to find. I would still be playing Pitts. London, on the other hand, I do think you don't drop him. Don't drop London. But I think you can play Dotson over London for the time being. Now, as far as Swift and Kirk goes, I would not be dropping Christian Kirk. That feels like a week 1 overreaction. However, I would be, from the list that he's given us, I would be targeting Puka, Algier, and Mostert. All 3 of those guys should be rostered absolutely. If I had to put a priority on them, you guys saw my waiver wire video this morning, most likely. But for me, that would be, well, Mostert is there. That's interesting. I think I'm probably going Algier over Mostert now. So Algier, Mostert, Puka. In that order.
I would say this. It's so difficult to really consider who to drop and where to go at this very moment because of you don't want to overreact in week 1. So yeah, I would agree with Zach there. I want to keep those guys on my team somehow, all of them, and then also have the ability to pick them up, right? Pick up Algier and Mostert off of waiver wires. So it's interesting. One thing I will say about Algier. I think we can easily, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we anticipate this workload growing for Algier moving forward.
No, I would say this is what he has. This is his ceiling here, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what he can. This is his ceiling. But at the same time, a lot of that production for Algier, not saying that he didn't do well, but a lot of that production came off of those if I'm not mistaken, he got 2 touchdowns on the goal line there. He got 15 carries for 75 yards, which is great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the workload's pretty solid. I mean,
workload is solid, but
I wouldn't question the workload myself.
I would question in the future, like if we had to say right now, does the workload stay consistent for Algier?
Thanks for
And
the sub back, King.
I don't think that answer is yes. Thank you so much for the sub.
Well, here's what I'll say is there's
That's what I
a
would say.
great chance that Bijan's role continually grows throughout the offseason. I don't think this is exactly what we will see every single week, and there is a chance that Algier's role does slightly diminish. Now, I do believe full-heartedly that Algier will not be irrelevant. Like, he will play an important role, and at minimum, he'll be a flex option. Like, I just don't see this is clearly their identity. So I just don't see Algier being completely irrelevant. I just don't see that happening. I think he's definitely worth an ad. And but I will say that I believe and I anticipate Bijan's role continually growing throughout the season, which could hinder at moments Algier's true upside. So I know there were some people in our, in the week I dropped a waiver wire video this morning. There were some people saying like Algier's going to finish as a top 5 guy and like all like top 12 locked in, loaded. I don't really believe that. Algier looks for a lock as a top 24 guy, but I don't think there's truly a top 5 ceiling. I do think that Bijan will be more and more heavily involved throughout the year, but Algier will still be involved as well. So
yeah, I would agree there. I think anticipate inconsistencies when it comes down to Tyler Algier and more consistent play, in my opinion, for Bijan moving forward.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with what you're saying there for sure. I think that makes sense. Okay, how many points do you think Josh Allen and Dalvin Cook will put up? I'm up 41 thanks to the Cowboys. There's not a 40-point lead that's safe with Josh Allen, but it's a very difficult defense. So that's, to me, it's all going to come down to Dalvin Cook, what his true role is going to be. Would I feel comfortable up 41 and my opponent has Josh Allen and Dalvin Cook? Honestly, I don't think I would feel super comfortable, but I would give myself a 60% chance to their 40%.
Yeah, I would say it all depends on the weather as well. Obviously, a lot of weather has impacted this game. If the rain is significant coming in the game starts, I think if you're playing against Josh Allen and the rain is consistent throughout the game, it could help. And it could really help you in that standpoint, and it could help or really hinder Josh Allen, but help Dalvin Cook. So
yeah,
look, anything can happen, but I think you have to keep in mind that the weather is going to play a part because there was some severe weather in that area in New York. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, what do we do with London and Tony? London is a stash. You don't play him next week if you can help it, but you do not drop him to your waiver wire. If I saw London on any of my 12-team waiver wires, and I would be picking him up myself. Thanks for the sub, Aro. And
Thanks so much.
we say this every single year, but do not overcorrect too much to week 1. Week 1 gives us a lot of information. It's very helpful. We set expectations, but we don't expect week 1 to be how the entire year always goes out and plays, right? I mean, we can always go back and talk about Sammy Watkins, right? It felt like when Sammy Watkins was with the Chiefs and the Ravens and, in his prime, if you will, if he had a prime. Yeah, he had a prime. I don't want to disrespect him. But it was like every week 1 was like, oh, Sammy Watkins. Oh, Sammy Watkins. He's the top 12 wide receiver in week 1. And then he finishes like outside the top, 50, 60. So thanks for the sub, Trenton. Don't overthink week 1 too much. It's helpful, but we don't want to overreact too much in the opposite direction.
Agreed.
Shout out to the 40 people watching the stream. Do us a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button. Just a simple way to support what we do. We are answering your questions, your fantasy questions before Monday Night Football. Then we will log off and watch the game offline. Drop a super chat if you want your question answered straight away. Otherwise, we'll go in order. Who should I start in week 2? Herbert or Pierce? Dameon Pierce was a must-sit for me last week. Got some hate for it. People told me I was absolutely insane for how low I had him ranked. I just did not like the matchup, and I didn't like how I imagined the game going as far as game script for him. As far as week 2 goes, though, the Texans face the Colts. I feel much better about that matchup for Dameon Pierce, and I would be starting him. I would not be starting Khalil Herbert versus the Bucks, because that's a much
exactly.
better rush defense from what we saw, at least in week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dameon Pierce, I mean, you guys will see this video coming out here in the next couple hours. Your morning tomorrow, we're gonna have must-start wide receivers, if I'm not mistaken, and must-start running backs, and Dameon Pierce will be on that list coming in. So definitely stay tuned for that video. So I will be going Dameon Pierce over Herbert.
I get it, Just Flow, for sure. Wahab Ali, what's up, man? He says, what do I do if I have AR and Geno? Don't panic. Again, do not panic. You're going to be okay.
Well, Anthony Richardson did all right. I mean,
Anthony Richardson was good. He has an injury
points
that he's dealing with, so we need to figure out if he's going to be full go week 2.
I think at the moment with the reports, I mean, the report right after week 1, that game, he said he was fine. He did go out, came back into the game, if I'm not mistaken. But they're just going to monitor him. But their expectations, according to some beat writers, saying that he should be full go week 2. But it is very early.
Yeah. You don't want to roster 3 quarterbacks. I think Geno will be much better than he was in week 1. So I wouldn't overreact to it. AC says, yo, check the waiver wire video today. Nicely done. Great picks and well-made content. Appreciate you, AC. Definitely appreciate that, man. I put a lot of effort into that, so it's cool to see the effort pay off. I appreciate the love on the video. Just Flow says, I hope the heavens open up and let it rain. That would help, wouldn't it? Anyone who's facing these players tonight?
It definitely will. I mean, I have Garrett Wilson, and I'm going against Josh Allen in the league, so it's either, do I want it to rain or do I not want it to rain? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah. Well, if anyone out there, I want to hear the biggest heartbreak loss that you took this week, and I'll just share mine. In my home league, 1 quarterback league, there's a couple ways I could have won. Firstly, if I started any quarterback this week not named Joe Burrow or Josh Dobbs, I win my matchup. No, that's not an overreaction. Name a quarterback. If I started that quarterback over Joe Burrow, I probably win my matchup 99% of the time. Joe Burrow goes out, puts 3 points up. Tua's sitting on my bench. That's right. I started Joe Burrow over Tua. And Tua, his 34 points sitting on my bench. I lost my matchup by 2 points. Again, absolutely devastating. And Tony Pollard, if the Giants were just decent, Tony Pollard would have played the rest of the game, and he could have helped me win, but he stopped playing after the middle of the 3rd quarter. So I wonder if anyone out there has any tough breaks after week 1. I know I was devastated with Joe Burrow's performance.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple leagues. My couple home leagues, the big money leagues right now, I'm okay in. There are a couple of the follower leagues that I sat Brandon Ayuk, which was pretty devastating. I think there was 2 leagues that I sat Brandon Ayuk in.
Yeah.
That he was the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. Now that Tyreek Hill went off yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely sat Brandon Ayuk, which it was very frustrating this week. But other than that, everything seems okay. I feel all my matchups, I either was blown out, which is typical, or it is still really close, or obviously those are the 3 ways you can go. So I feel confident moving forward into week 2.
Would you trade Eckler for Gibbs Olave in a 10 team? My flex options are weak. If your flex options are weak, I don't know, man. Giving up Eckler, though, in a 10 team.
Eckler had a good game.
I know he's got the ankle injury that he's dealing with.
Yeah, that's tough.
That is tough. I do believe that Jahmyr Gibbs will be much better for fantasy moving forward.
I think if you need this and you need the depth, I'm okay to do it. I'm willing to take the chance.
Yeah. Especially if Eckler doesn't play this week, which we don't know. I think he will play, but
I think he will play as well.
That's a tough one, man. If you told me that was a 12-man league, no brainer. I would take Gibbs Olave, but in a 10-man, that's a tough one, man. But I would be comfortable with it if you truly are desperate. But if you have fine options in your flex, I wouldn't push the envelope. What's up, Dave?
What's happening, brother?
You're good, Wahab. I would hold. I got one more for you guys, Dotson or London. I don't know if that was a joke from last week or not, but
that's funny.
I would say neither really lived up to expectations, unfortunately, but definitely Dotson looks like the start moving forward. Casey says Hawks lost both starting tackles at halftime. Even I could have sacked Geno. Yeah, it was tough.
Bro, did you guys see that clip of Geno when Aaron Donald's coming straight for him? Just yell out, "Oh my God!" I think that is one of the funniest things.
Yeah,
if
that
you
was
haven't,
hilarious.
just go check that out. And I was watching that live,
Mm-hmm.
oddly enough, and I saw that, and I don't think you saw it. And then I sent the tweet when it came out. So funny.
That
Definitely
was
go check that out.
hilarious. Definitely must watch. Geno Smith back in the pocket. Aaron Donald running at him. And Geno goes, "Oh my God!"
I said, "Oh my God!" Like,
That's a
holy
big
like
man.
he's about to die.
Grandpa, should I
classic.
drop Pacheco, Traylon, or DJ Chark? I'm trying to pick up either Gainwell or Puka. I'm fine to drop Chark.
Chark.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want to
fine
drop
jump
the
Chark.
rest.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Honestly, though, at this very moment, I would drop Chark and Traylon for Gainwell and Puka. However, overall, I do want Traylon rostered. So maybe I would drop Pacheco. But again, like, all these players should be rostered, except for Chark.
Yeah, I would agree. All these players should be rostered. If I had to choose one, I would be dropping Pacheco. I think there's more of a rotation in that backfield.
And Chark, right?
Yeah, Pacheco and Chark. There's more rotation in that backfield with Pacheco, and we saw that, this past in week 1. Jet McKinnon, Clyde, and Pacheco. In Gainwell, it just feels like he is going to be the guy moving forward, even though Penny was a healthy scratch. But I will be going there, Pacheco and Chark.
Arrow says I was up 32 against Cowboys D and lost last night. That's tough.
That's unfortunate.
Trent
man.
says he was up 30 and he lost because of Cowboys defense.
Oh no!
Damn, that is tough. I need a
Sorry,
22-point performance from Wilson to win. AC says it's possible. It certainly is within the range of outcomes. Hey, 62 people watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and smash that like button. Help us get to that 50 like goal. And go ahead and drop your questions. We'll answer them in order. Otherwise, if there's any super chats, we will prioritize those. Parker says, would you do this trade? I give up Saquon and Garrett Wilson for Mike Williams and Justin Jefferson. No, I would not do that trade.
No, I would not do that trade either.
No.
I want to keep that. Ralph, Tyler Algier has been in the lineup for 2 weeks, or has to be in the lineup for week 2 over Madison. I think that is the case. Another guy that is going to might be a must sit. If I'm not mistaken, is the Vikings do play the Eagles. Even though the Eagles didn't have the best, defensive game this past week, but I think I have to go with that. It's tough to say. I feel like Madison is a clear guy there, so I would want to start him over Algier.
Yeah.
But I think just based off the matchup, I'm just sitting Alexander Madison, who might be a must sit on my videos coming out.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I
you.
couldn't really answer that well right now. I need to wrap my head around week 2 first. I couldn't tell you my direct answer on that at the very moment.
If you're just going based off matchup, I think it is difficult. I mean, the Falcons are technically have an easier matchup. They're going against the Packers, even though they did pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
But still, Falcons versus the Packers, Vikings versus the Eagles, it feels like you want to lean against or sit Alexander Madison. So we'll see.
We'll see. What's up, Styles? What's up, Zach
doing?
Vidaki? What a week 1. Got to witness Dolphins versus Chargers at SoFi. Love that, Styles.
Bro, what a game,
y'all remember
bro.
all last week. What did I say? The most fantasy points are coming from the Dolphins Chargers. That was my game of the week. And it was a fun one. It was like the entire morning slate. No one remembered how to play football, right? And then the afternoon games, everyone watched those games and they were like, let's not be idiots like everyone else was. We remember how to play football, right? Everyone, afternoon slate, come together. We know how to play football, right? All right, on 3. What? Hike. I mean, yeah. So
it was bad.
The morning games were tough.
Yeah, it was. KV said I started T Higgins instead of Ayuk. Ooh, that was heartbreaking.
And I think most people would have.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a lot of the weather did affect a lot of fantasy productions yesterday, so keep that in mind. I would say. Dylan, would you use a top waiver wire on Joshua Kelly or Kyron Williams? I have Eckler on my team.
If you have Eckler, I would go Joshua Kelly. What I will say is, because Austin Eckler is dealing with an ankle injury, his coach came out and said he doesn't know if he'll practice this week. We'll find out. So if you have Eckler, I would say Joshua Kelly. The reason I'm like Joshua Kelly would be my number 4 pickup this week, not my number 1. That's because when Eckler's back, you know, it's the Austin Eckler show, right? So there's a timeline on that, whereas these other guys we don't know. They could be startable the entire year. We'll find out.
Yeah, completely agree there. Steven said, anyone worth the number 1 waiver wire pick? I think there's a lot. I guess depends on what you need as well. I mean, you could put Puka in there, you can put Kyron in there, you can put Tyler Algier in there, Kenneth Gainwell, if those guys are available, which they should be rostered. There are so many people that are, I think, in my opinion, could be worthy. It just depends on what you need specifically.
Yeah, I dropped a video on waiver wires today, so go check that out. Zay Flowers, yeah, he's definitely someone you should start. However, let's manage our expectations for Zay Flowers slightly. I'm excited. We love Zay Flowers over on the Dynasty channel. Yep. We want to see him succeed. We love him. We certainly weren't anti-Zay Flowers. We had him in a lot of leagues. What I will say is there was no Mark Andrews. And yeah, I would still say if Mark Andrews is healthy, he's the number 1 target on this team. So I just want to manage expectations slightly. I think the good news is that the Ravens offense will be better moving forward, right? They will be better. They can't be that bad. Not that they were awful or anything, but they should have done much better versus the Texans. So manage expectations, but yes, he is a startable asset, I would say.
Completely agree. I think if Mark Andrews comes in and plays and Zay Flowers still puts up a game, even if it's like 6 for 7, catches 6 out of 7 targets, I think he probably could be a must start moving forward. We'll definitely wait and see what that looks like after week 2. Arlo, my lineups further into the Eckler question, who to drop?
Yeah, I mean, again, if you have Eckler, then prioritize Joshua Kelly. Abaki says no one in the entire fantasy space is mentioning Love as a potential waiver pickup. Yeah, I mean, look, you can pick up Jordan Love. To me, it wasn't the most efficient game, right? I mean, if you watch that game, there was some serious inconsistencies. I think he completed 55% of his passes. And there was quite a few broken plays. I want to give credit where credit is due. Jordan Love looked fantastic, but I'm not going to sit here and say I anticipate Jordan Love scoring 3 touchdowns every week, right? Sometimes those will be more on the ground. You won't always get an Aaron Jones 60-yard touchdown pass out of the backfield, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to give him credit because, Jordan Love, we've talked about him in a loving fashion, I guess you could say, this offseason, but I don't think he's someone that I would feel super comfortable as my quarterback 1 just yet,
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the 2 quarterback league, obviously he should be already rostered.
Yeah.
But just don't overreact. Don't go too crazy at this very moment.
Like, let me ask you this: I would still prefer Brock Purdy rest of season.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of names. Brock Purdy, 100%. If you're someone that took Derek Carr over Jordan Love, which I hope he didn't, Jordan Love. If you took someone like a Matthew Stafford, I think there's a conversation for Jordan Love there.
Yeah, I would go I would go Love over Stafford for sure. Love
I mean, Carr. Ryan Tannehill, obviously.
Love definitely over Tannehill.
I think of names like, what about Jared Goff or Jordan Love?
See, that's a very tough one. I think I lean Goff.
Russell Wilson.
But I would say Love has a higher ceiling. I'll go Love over Russ. Without Judy right now.
There's certain names you definitely can and do have a conversation, but I think those top 15 quarterbacks or top 12 quarterbacks that gone off the board, I think you are 100% taking over Jordan Love every single day. Yeah. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Jets covering. Let's see. They could. It's a weird weather game potentially. Biggest surprise from week 1. Biggest surprise.
There's a couple. I would say in the running back position, I thought the biggest surprise in my opinion was Tyler Algier. I didn't expect any of that. At the wide receiver position, I think the biggest one is how much Jimmy G peppered Jacoby Myers, and that's not a sexy name.
That's a good one, right? There. That's actually a good one. I think there's a reason behind it, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's not a sexy name, and I do believe there's a reason behind it. I mean, Patrick Surtain going against Devontae Adams, but I mean, Jimmy G loves to spread the ball around. But the fact that Jacoby Myers got 9 out of 10 targets and 2 touchdowns, even if you take those touchdowns away, he still has a good game. So we need to wait and see what that looks like. The Raiders next week play the Buffalo Bills, another tough matchup. So let's see if that's consistent moving forward, because I think Jakobi Meyers could be an interesting guy. What do you think about?
Yeah, no, I think Jakobi Meyers was a great shout, but I think again, like, you're not going to have Adams facing Pat Surtain every week. I mean, if Pat Surtain is facing my wide receiver 1, I'm worried. So yeah, that's a really good shout. I mean, I'll say this, as someone who screamed all offseason, sell DeAndre Swift. Thank you for the sub, Eric Jenkins.
Thank you so much.
Screamed all offseason, sell DeAndre Swift. Made a video a week before week 1 telling you to sell him again. Got roasted in the comments. Even I was surprised at how little they used him. Like, even I was like, oh, wow, it's Gainwell. I thought Penny would be involved.
There were reports that said that, which was so surprising.
I thought it was a 3-way backfield, for real. So I'm not so convinced that it's just Gainwell moving forward. Like, even I imagine Swift will play a bigger role. But even I, the DeAndre Swift hater, as I was labeled, I was surprised by how little they used him. So that was a surprise for me. Thanks, Sprint, for the sub. Chris says, is anyone worth using my waiver wire priority on? Yes, I dropped a video. Go check it out.
Yeah,
just released it this morning. It was a very good game, MP. What's up? Goff or Dak in week 2? Let's see who they play. Dak plays the Jets, and Jared Goff plays the Seahawks. I mean, so I'll go Goff there.
Yeah, you have to go Goff there.
Shout out to the 69 people watching the stream. Go ahead and smash that like button for us. Can you help us reach 50 likes? With your help, I think we can get there. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Should I drop Goddard for Henry or Hurst? No, I'll still rock with Goddard. What's up, Kev? What the heck did my Seahawks do? That was tough.
Man.
Sorry about the Giants. All donuts this week.
Thank you.
Grandpa says, I need Jets D to drop 33 points.
Good luck.
Probably not going to happen, but best of luck. What do I do with London? Hold him, stash him, do not drop him. Steven says drop him. We wouldn't drop him. You wouldn't drop him, right?
No, I wouldn't drop him. I would say this for London, and because I think it should be a conversation, in my opinion. I think there's serious concerns moving forward when it comes down to London, with this quarterback play. It feels like if Desmond Ridder doesn't get the ball rolling, if I'm not mistaken, Taylor Heineke is the backup there.
Yeah.
I want Taylor Heineke to come in immediately.
So I hear you. Here's what I'll say.
That's what it seems like.
You're not going to be playing a rookie quarterback team every week either, right? So they were dominating
100%.
that game script towards the end there. Hold Dameon Pierce. Hold Dameon Pierce. He has a much better matchup this week. I believe that Puka has established himself 100%. To have a role when Cup is back. Don't sell Drake, Mighty Booch. This is the wrong time to sell him. We want to sell players on highs, not lows. Steven likes the hoodie. Should I start Rachaad White or Puka? That's a tough question. I can't give you a very good answer to that question just yet. I need to wrap my head around week 2 and get my rankings out there, which I will work on today for you guys. But it's too early for me to answer that question. I will go ahead and lean Puka. They do play the Niners, so I don't love that matchup. But I will lean Puka at this very moment because he feels like the safer option between Madison and Puka. But that answer could change in a couple of days, so we'll be live streaming all week.
Yeah, I completely agree there. I'm going with Rachaad White. Pick one at wide receiver and flex: Hopkins, Evans, Addison, Pickens, and JSN. I feel like moving forward, it can be Pickens and Hopkins off the top of my head, but it all depends on their matchup.
Moving forward, it would be Evans, Hopkins, Addison for me, but we'll have to wait and see. Need to.
Yeah, we have to look at those matchups going into week 2 there.
You want to answer this one?
Chris, after week 1, thoughts on Elijah Moore still being a top 24 wide receiver? I think it's possible. Once again, another game. If you look in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, first and second quarter of this game, I mean, the first time somebody caught a ball in that game was probably, 2 minutes into the second quarter. Weather was a huge factor, and Elijah Moore got 7 targets that game. He caught 3 out of 7 targets. Sure. It's definitely possible if the weather wasn't a factor. So it's the same thing for Amari Cooper as well. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Mark Cooper had a terrible game, so I do believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Chucky Turd Durkin says, "Hey fellas, rough week 1. Lost Dobbins and Deontay down. Would y'all drop Elijah Mitchell or Sharp for Kelly or Rashawn?" Okay. So first question: would I drop Elijah Mitchell or Charbonnet for Kelly or Rashawn? I'd be comfortable dropping Mitchell for Kelly. Yeah, I'd do that to win your week 2. And then as far as, go ahead.
I would drop Elijah Mitchell as well. Excuse me.
Also, keep Rice or add Nico. Okay, I would probably, for just me personally, I would probably prioritize Zay Jones there of all those options. Yeah, that's who I would prioritize.
I'm a bit in. This one's tough. I think it has to be Zay Jones, but I think we can get trapped by Zay Jones coming into week 2.
Yeah, we could. I'm not going to say that he's going to
guys,
be like super reliable or anything, but he's going to be very involved. I think that's obvious.
Yeah, and I think it's tough for me right now with Zay Jones, but
yeah,
if I had to choose one, it will be Zay Jones based off his production this past week.
Baki says Love had the highest passer rating in the league without his wide receiver 1. I don't think inefficient would be a way to describe it. Okay. Highest passer rating. According to PFF, the highest passing grade was Tua Tagovailoa. Jordan Love is 21st on the week, right above CJ Stroud. Fair enough. To each their own. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I like Jordan Love. I don't think I should be pinned against Jordan Love here, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's going to be the MVP after week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just I don't know. I mean, I know Ashgate is a big, either Green Bay fan because he's a big Packers Christian fan, Watson. Yeah, Packers fan. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Yeah. London Okonkwo. Okonkwo is definitely warranted. London, it's warranted, but I would hold on to him. I would comfortably drop Okonkwo for multiple tight ends, but I think both those guys will have better games. Love is more talented than Purdy. Okay, fair enough. Should you wait on waiver pickups if you haven't lost depth or don't plan on starting them? That depends on who's on your bench, because if there's players on your bench that aren't as valuable in my eyes than the players that are available on the waiver wire, then yeah, I would drop those bench players for the waiver wire players, because if what we saw in week 1 continues, which doesn't always happen, then you'll have more value on your team overall for trades or for starting options.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree. So it all depends on what that depth looks like. Trade Cup and Ayuk for Waddle when Cup first went down, kind of sad. Or traded Cup and Ayuk for Waddle. Yeah, I mean,
Ayuk is not going to be the wide receiver 1 on every single week, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, it's okay. Honestly, though,
yeah, that's good.
Thanks for the donation, Taco. Traded Cup / Ayuk for Waddle. Waddle's going to be better as well. So, yeah. I mean, look, if Cup comes back, that will be tough for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Dobbins going down, going for Kenny Gaines. I hear you. Okay, so. Yes.
Actually, we're not saying that Jordan Love. I mean, you're not listening to what we're saying. We're not saying Jordan Love is bad. I think that's what you're taking. We're just saying we don't expect him to have a week 3 fantasy finish. And there's other quarterbacks we would take still over Jordan Love. But we still don't mind Jordan Love. We still would roster him. Yes.
I'm not going to start comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, though. But I like him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. Sorry. Taco says, full PPR. Thank you for the super chat, man. We'll get to your question straight away. Trade London for Pickens with Deontay down. Yeah, I would prefer George Pickens at this point.
I would as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not an overreaction to me. Like, I do think London will be better, absolutely. But in the same breath, like, I can recognize that this will be a low passing volume offense in Atlanta if the game goes their way, right? Which the last game did.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's crazy. It's crazy. Yes, I agree. Space. I worry about Pitts and Fields. I think I think for the overall regime in the Falcons and the wide receiver core with Drake and Pitts, I think I am worried. Yeah, I don't think you have to. I don't think you drop Pitts or pivot. I think what you can do is pick up players. Pick up Hunter Henry, who just had a good game. Is that going to happen again? You go pick
Jake
up
Ferguson Sam
Jake
Laporta
Ferguson,
or...
a Cole Kmet, just in case this passing offense or this offense for the Atlanta Falcons doesn't increase, right? I think those are the type of moves we have to do. But I don't think there's anyone here or in the fantasy community, unless they hate Kyle Pitts, that's going to tell you need to drop him. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and keep in mind with Kyle Pitts, it's a little less worrisome because he's in the tight end position, whereas you definitely should expect more from your wide receivers than what London had. But again, we don't want to freak out too much. It's just week 1. What's up, Sam? We're not gonna stay live for the Monday Night Football game. We have a lot of content that we want to prep for tomorrow for you guys throughout the week, and we also want to watch the game offline. So we are going to be live for the next 7 minutes, Badaki?
Yeah, the game's about to start here. I guess what we'll do is once the game kicks off, we'll say goodbye. We'll probably watch.
So
how about this? We watch the first snap, and then we'll say, okay, thank you so much, guys.
We might not be able to get to everyone's questions, so just keep that in mind. Go ahead and smash the like button, though, if you're with us to support the channel. Should I try and trade Goddard for Pitts or Waller if I can? I'm still all in on Darren Waller. And Chris actually asked the question next. Yes, I'm still all in on Darren Waller. I think if anyone watched that game last night with the weather and with the way that it outworked itself, that is not representative of what the Giants offense will look like throughout the entire season. And it's not representative of the type of weather that they will play. And Waller looked good. There were plenty of plays where I saw him make catches and I was like, no, there's not another player on your team that would have made that play.
I know we haven't seen much of the Giants, but I'm pretty sure Waller was the second most targeted player, probably outside of Saquon there. And it was terrible weather, so keep that in mind. Aaron Rodgers looks phenomenal coming out of the tunnel in the Jets throwback jersey.
Love it. But yes, I would trade Goddard for Pitts. Goddard for Waller if I could. For Waller,
I'm happy to keep both, either one. So I think it's an even trade. That's what I would say.
Yeah. We just talked about Pitts a lot. We're not doing any team grades, Akshay. Kyron Williams or Nakua, who would you rather pick up? It would be Puka for me, but it depends on the needs of your team.
Agreed.
Wahab says, hey guys, I lost Dobbins and JT on IR. Brees my RB1 and my RB2 would be Gainwell or Kelly. That's tough, man. Best of luck. Best of luck. He says, I traded Kelsey, Ridley, JT, and Lockett for Chubb, Kittle, Garrett Wilson, and Dotson. Okay. Kelsey, Ridley, JT, and Lockett.
Chubb. I mean, I don't like it because of George Kittle. I'm not a George Kittle person. So
I still like Kittle, but yeah, I would prefer the
the
Kelsey side of it. Kelsey's the...
Look, I wouldn't have traded for... you traded away JT. Oh, wait. So I traded Kelsey, Ridley, JT, and Lockett for Chubb, Kittle, Garrett Wilson, and Dotson. I would say I like that trade, but I don't love the Kittle in that deal. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Tough one. I refuse to believe Zay Jones will be better than Kirk. I'm not claiming that. Even in the video that I made, I said I did not claim that Zay Jones is going to be better than Kirk. What I did say is he's going to be more involved than I think anyone believed, and that's just facts, right? Yeah. Should I sell Rachaad White now? No, we never sell players low. And Rachaad White had most of the opportunities if you actually look at it. No, I would not sell him now. Goddard, terrible week. Yes, he'll be better moving forward. Paris Campbell, droppable. There's plenty of players I would drop Campbell for.
Yeah, 100%.
Even before the season, but definitely no.
100%. Yeah, completely agree.
Raheem, Dalvin, start 2.
Raheem.
I do not have my head wrapped around week 2
tomorrow. Next week. Yeah, I look little thick. I'm doing a little thick. I'm doing a start sit video of the running backs. Zach has the wide receivers, so stay tuned for that. I will definitely be going through each and every one of these players, or try to get to you as many players as I can of start sit.
Yeah.
One thing I would say, Raheem could be a sit based off matchup, but I would keep you informed.
Yeah,
we'll wait and see.
We'll be live throughout the week as well, guys, for sure.
Exactly.
Stafford will be better, I will say, moving forward. It won't be 3 touchdowns on the ground every week,
Yeah, completely agree.
Would you drop Swift for any of Puka, Shaheed, and Dobbs? I would be comfortable dropping Swift for Puka if you need a good flex, for sure. Drop Swift for Kelly? Yes, I'd be willing to do that. I know you guys don't think he's bad, but is he not worth a roster spot in one quarterback leagues? Forget Mahomes. You guys don't think he could just be this year's Geno? We didn't say that.
Once again, I think it just depends on who the quarterback is. I'm not dropping Jordan Love for people that are proven. And it may sound crazy. Like, I'm not dropping Jordan Love for Kirk Cousins. I'm not dropping Jordan Love for Justin Fields, for Jalen Hurts, obviously, Kenny Pickett, Daniel Jones.
I would drop him for Kenny Pickett. Yeah, I would drop Pickett.
That's what I meant to say for Kenny Pickett. Sorry, I meant to say Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a conversation. Russell Wilson, he could be rostered. All depends on who that quarterback is. We're not rostering him outside of or within the top 12 quarterbacks that you can probably think of. Anyways.
Yeah. They play the Falcons this week, so it's another good matchup. But yeah, I mean, I just think we have slightly lower expectations. It's not that we don't like him. Dave, you're good. If I can only roster one, Njoku or Komet, Njoku for me.
Yeah, agreed.
No worries. Wahab, Goff or Stafford in week 2, I'd be going Goff.
Yeah, I'm going Goff as well.
Mooney, Drizzy Drake, or maybe Lazard King. Let's see what Lazard does tonight. That could be fun.
That could be fun.
But at the moment, geez, dude. Like, honestly, though, yeah, you can't start London versus Jari Alexander. Mooney. That sucks.
Bro, I think it's until Taylor Heineke comes into this roster, in my opinion, I don't know if I'm going to be wanting starting Drake or Kyle Pitts. But once again, maybe that's my overreaction to week 1 for the Falcons. But that's how I'm feeling right now in my guts. But still give me another 24, 48 hours. We'll be live all throughout the week giving you, maybe I change. Maybe I rewatch that game and see what that really looked like. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
Yes, Josh Allen should get you the win. Did y'all benefit from Dallas Cowboys defense? No, it actually killed me because Tony Pollard wasn't necessary in the fourth quarter. Yes, if Jordan Love wins the MVP, you can victory lap all over
100%.
the channel as much
We'll
as you
cheer
want.
with you, brother. We'll cheer with you.
It wasn't that Desmond Ridder played bad. It's just that the offense doesn't. Ridder was not bad. It's just the offense was not built around the passing game at all.
No, this is a run-first offense, without a doubt.
Yes, I would flip Evans for Higgins if I could, for sure.
Absolutely.
London or Nakua. I would start Nakua. Yeah, it's crazy that sounds.
Look, we could be wrong. We were wrong all throughout. I mean, we got some things wrong. We got some things right. London next week can be the wide receiver 1, and everyone's saying, well, shit. Should I start Drake London going into next week? And he's probably going to have a good matchup or a tough matchup. It's so interesting with Drake. I need to go watch this game because I think we're going to get that question a lot coming into this week.
One target for London should be illegal. You're not wrong. Best of luck, Mighty Booch. I think he can do that. That's it for today, guys. Really appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll be live throughout the week. We'll be live tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, answering your questions, I believe, right? So catch us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live. And we'll join you guys there. Go ahead and drop a like. Best of luck in your week 1 matchups, whatever you need tonight. I hope it works in your favor. Outside of that, enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you very soon. Go check out my waiver wire video if you want information on waiver wires this week. Later.
All love.